Hey guys, in today's video I'm down here at the hangar and I just wanted to give you guys an update on the Aztec as well as just a little bit on our Cherokee. So I know it's been a while since I've done a video on the Aztec and I apologize for that. Things have been going a little bit slower on it than I'd liked. I'm sure you guys can understand that, but we are hopefully going to be finished with it soon. I don't want to give an exact date just because things have been going slow, but we're getting closer and closer, and I just wanted to show you some more of the issues we found, what we fixed, and then I also wanted to make another video kind of the whole cost associated with that. So let me know if you'd be interested in seeing another video about the cost associated with the purchase and the repairs of this plane. Alright, so the first thing I wanted to talk about here is the hot props. These were marked in op and the left one actually did work. So this one worked, the right one didn't. From my understanding, it was missing a brush assembly. That was actually fairly inexpensive to replace. So we fixed that and the hot props, both of them now work. So that's good. We still don't know the status of our boots for our DI system, so we need to check those. I would expect that they should work, or if they don't, there's only minor problems with them. They're not marked inoperative, so we're hoping that those work. And then as far as the others on our DI system, the pitot heat works. And then we removed the hot plate on the windshield. So there's no hot plate, or we didn't remove it, it was removed, so there's no hot plate for the windshield, which is not a big deal, especially if we're not flying into ice anyway, although it would be nice to have just in case. So other than that, I don't know if you guys noticed, we repainted the spinners. I'll throw a couple pictures up of what they looked like before, and we decided to go with a chrome finish. Seems like they pick up fingerprints, but we'll try and wash that off. But I think they look great. They definitely look better than the old flaking white paint, so that looks really nice. And then the other thing that we need to do is the steel plates here on the side of the nose cone. I'm guessing these were for ice protection for the nose cone, because the ice would be thrown from the propellers here. So as you can see, the paint doesn't quite match and it's flaked off in a lot of places. So we'd like to just repaint these panels. And that's about the only paint that looks really bad, was the spinners and these plates on each side of the plane. So we have the spinners done. It's not like an emergency to have this done, but it would be nice to paint these. And then the paint on the plane should actually look pretty decent. Now, if you guys remember, I talked about the CHT probe. I believe it was on the left engine. I actually cannot remember, but we fixed the CHT, so both the CHTs work for the left and right engines. The engine temps work and oil pressure works. The right engine oil pressure reads a little wonky, so we might have to look into that, but it does work. I think there's nothing wrong with the left engine except that it needs a new slick start, which I'm going to talk a little bit more about in a few minutes. So other than that, we still need to redress the boots, and I'd like to clean up and repaint this stall horn right there, but other than that, really no major issues. The fuel gauges, I don't know if I mentioned that before, but they don't read 100% correctly on the inside. Now there's a couple gauges on the tip tanks that you can read, and those are accurate, but the electronic gauges on the inside don't read quite right. So we might need to look into that. That's not a huge deal, especially if you keep track of how much fuel you had in and how many hours you've flown off of each tank, but it's still nice to have gauges that are 100% accurate. We repainted the right spinner, nose cone assembly here, and the hot props work on this engine as well. Right now my dad's working on it a little bit, working on the mag. We actually had to replace the left mag on the right engine. That mag was almost ready to give up completely. We had noticed when we were flying it, when we did the mag checks, that the left mag on this engine dropped quite a bit, and we were able to fix it by running the engine up and leaning it out a little more, which sometimes will help if it's fouled. Plugs are fouled or something, and that helped with the mag. But we had looked at the mags. Both of the mags on this engine are at 700 hours, and they're recommended to be replaced at 500. So the left one was actually bad. The right one is still good, but we should probably look into replacing that one as well, since it's over its overhaul time. So we're probably going to overhaul the right mag as well on this engine. The other thing that was wrong on both engines both of the engines started really hard, and it was near impossible to get this engine started. So the reason why the right engine was very hard to start, nearly impossible, was something called a slick start. What it is it's a booster for the magneto to increase the strength of the spark for starting the engine. That it will make it easier to start on a cold day, or when the engine's super hot, when it's just been shut off. It'll help with hot starts, and when the engine's really cold on real cold days. And we had found that both of the slick starts were bad on the left and right engine, and the left magneto was actually about bad, and the slick start actually works off of the left mag, so it will increase the spark on the left mag. So the mag was already bad. So basically, the right engine couldn't start. It was very hard. You had to work it just right to get it started, and the left engine started pretty hard as well, a little easier, and that's because both of the mags worked, but the slick start wasn't working. So we have actually replaced the slick start on the right engine. We got it for $400 off of eBay. We got a new in-box one, but it had been previously opened, but it unused. So we got that for $400 versus they're normally $1,000 brand new from the factory. So we're going to keep an eye out for another one, see if we can get it for a little cheaper. If we can't, we'll just have to buy another new slick start for that engine. The engine should be ready to run after the mag's timed and the slick start's already been installed. Another thing that I had mentioned before was that our door was not working, and I can't remember if I mentioned that we had it fixed or not, but we do have it fixed now. It was all messed up. The lock was broken, so it would not lock and it wouldn't stay closed. So all the pins now go in the proper holes. The door closes and locks. Everything works on it, and as you can see, we have all the trim back on the door. Now the trim is not in great shape, so that's just the way it is. If and when we redo the interior on this plane, we'll obviously get that fixed, but for now the door is functional and it's safe. Everything else in the cockpit works. All the lights work. The only thing that we need to do yet is update our 430. I can't remember if I mentioned that either. I might have, but the software is like quite a few years old, so I'm not sure if they never updated it. Maybe they didn't use it for IFR flying, so they didn't need to. But we need to update the 430. I'm actually not sure how expensive that's going to be, but we'll obviously check that out. We'll get that done, and I'll let you guys know how much it was. But like I mentioned, other than that, everything on the interior is mostly functional. Now the only other thing that doesn't work, and I know I mentioned that before, is that the heater, cabin heater doesn't work. We had replaced the fuel pressure regulator for it, and we're now getting fuel up to the heater, I believe. So we've got to see if there's a switch or something that's not working. So we're going to have to investigate that further and see what the mechanic thinks is wrong with the heater. So hopefully we're going to have that fixed as we go into the winter months. But other than that, that's about it. And as you can tell, we've mostly got all the issues worked out with the plane. I'll maybe update this a little bit more if we get the engines running, started, and make sure everything works on them. But there's no major mechanical issues with the engines. It was just a couple of the accessories. Alright guys, so that's about it on the Aztec. Now another thing that I wanted to mention, which I mentioned in the start of this video, is that our Cherokee is going in for annual. So currently the known issues with it that need to be dealt with are the main tires are about bald on it. The nose wheel tire is still good, but the mains need replaced. And then the other issue is that the electric trim doesn't work. I think the clutch is slipping, and that shouldn't be a big deal. We're hoping that we can either tighten up the clutch or lubricate the jack screw and see if we can get that working. If not, maybe the clutch or something needs replaced. But other than that, we've kind of kept up with the maintenance over the year, and so we don't have any big ticket items going into annual. So it shouldn't be extremely expensive. The ballpark is probably around $1,200 to $1,500 for the annual, but I'm hopefully going to video the annual, show you guys what was done and how an annual is performed, and then I will hopefully be able to tell you guys exactly how much it cost, how much each item cost, and what was the parts, what was the labor. We're hoping to be able to do most of the labor ourselves, like taking off inspection panels, pulling up the interior carpet, everything like that that needs done, obviously under supervision of an AMP, and then obviously have work done on the parts that needs replaced, and then have an IA obviously inspect and sign off on it. So hopefully we're going to keep the price a little lower than if we would just send it into a shop and have the annual done just 100% by them with no owner assisted labor. So that should help keep the cost down a little bit. So I'm excited to show you guys what needs done on the annual, how that's performed, and especially how much it costs, because I know a lot of people are interested in that. Alright guys, that's about it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please smash that like button for me. That really helps out my channel. Also, if you're not subscribed already, please feel free to scroll down just below the video, click that subscribe button. Also ring the bell beside that. You'll get notified every single time I upload a new video. So I would really appreciate it if you guys do that. Also, if you had a comment on the video, question, anything like that, please drop down in the comments, leave a comment. I love responding to those. So I love hearing from you guys, so I'd appreciate it if you do that. Alright guys, that's about it for today. I will see you guys in the next video. See ya.